Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Battle Brothers Season 3. As today, we once again find ourselves back in Helvik, a town recently under threat by Unholds, currently under threat by Alps, and with at least one relic within question mark distance of it. Though this rumor... The other rumor we had about a relic was for the northwest. This is a location to the west. Interesting. Possibly worth pursuing. Then again, there's an awful lot of west from where we're currently standing. But before we do any of that, we've got a noble contract on tap, so let's get a gander at that. Baron Sorrel von Goswin's sitting in his chair with pursed lips. He's thumbing a dagger around, the tip of it auguring a divot into his desk. My scouts to the northwest started disappearing a little while ago, and then the survivors trickled in, and with them, tales of a barbarian proclaiming himself king of the Desert of Mirrors. Now, do I need to conjure what the issue is with a savage ordaining himself ruler of a horde of primitives? You tell him you can imagine it keeps him up at night. Baron von Goswin grins. Aye, that it does. So I need a man such as yourself, a strapping, nice, civilized sellsword. I need you to go and find this so-called king, and kill him before he's got all those damned idiots marching under his banner. Oh man, Barbarian King contract, are we ready for that? I mean, it is just a 2-skull. Pretty decent pay. Where do you say this was? The desert? Oh, Desert of Mirrors, northwest. Right, okay. Actually, that does sound kind of familiar. Which is also the same direction as that relic rumor we got last time. And sort of like half in the direction of the camp we just pinged. You know what? What the heck? Let's do it. I was going to stick around and do the Alp contract, but we'd have to burn half a day waiting for nightfall. So we will do this instead, and hopefully, potentially, net at least one relic in the process. And there's Desert of Mirrors. Wow, yeah, we've actually been through there a time or two. Oh, wait, but the objective says he is northeast near Tangval, which is like perpendicular to where he just told us we were going. Also, I notice we do not actually have a location revealed on the map, so I guess he might be roving. This might be like one of those bandit defense contracts. It's been a long time since I did one of these. Alright, well, you know what? If we are going to have to do any significant wandering, we do need more supplies. So let's do this. We'll head south for Damwald and grab supplies. If that doesn't work out, we'll hit Oberberg. And then we'll just kind of loop around the mountains here. We have rumors of a camp to the west and northwest of Helvik. So, yeah, I think that works. Obviously, we're taking the long route, but we do need those supplies. Alright, Damwald, what do you got for me? Ooh, yet another location. Though again, there's an awful lot of southwest from where we're currently standing. And we do have decent prices. Yeah, let's load up. Could have gotten better prices for the trade goods, but we still turned a profit, and we are about to head into the wild, so might as well free up the slots. And good to go. Ooh, Oath Taker. Way too expensive. Honestly, that's probably mostly just his gear. That's the full adorned armor set. That's like 9,000 gold. And that's before you tack on the cost of the long axe or the actual recruit himself. We'll kind of wing around the mountain range here. We won't stray too far from it. Oh, and we've got Chosen, which we did take down pretty handily last time round. Oh, I almost forgot. Arrow. Yes, as alluded to last time, I did indeed upgrade his quivers. And as for his perk, you know what? Given the expanded ammo count, 20 to 28 now, I think we're going to lean into that. I think we're going to go ahead and grab the classic Berserk, Killing Frenzy, Recover combo. I was hesitant because I wasn't sure it would proc enough, but it turns out he's actually not terribly far behind our kill count leads. He does get kills, even if it is, in many cases, you know, the weaker targets, but that's even better for something like Berserk and Kill Frenzy, because it means, you know, he's great for clearing out the chaff. The mooks, the filler, deprives the enemy of those team-up bonuses, frees up the rest of the raiders to focus on harder targets. Though, granted, it won't really help him here. Chosen are like the opposite of soft targets. So for this fight, we want to go in heavy. We want Rassel, we want Cetrus. Yeah, I think that works. It's only 5, so this should be adequate. Following rumors of rousted relics and would-be kings, the raiders soon find themselves crossing paths with a group of hulking, brutish barbarian chosen. Think that's our guys? Bowman asked uncertainly. Dunno, Rassel grunted next to him. What's a barbarian king even look like? All eyes were suddenly on Random. What? He asked. A handful of worms halfway to the wild man's mouth. Never mind, Bowman sighed. We'll check for crowns after. And thus the fray began. The raiders swiftly moving up to seize the high ground, lest the enemies use it against them. Yeah, we'll set up on this rise, but they might just try to circumvent. Okay, so we do have one flanking north, one flanking south. We'll need to adapt accordingly. Zarmal push north, blocking the northernmost part of the rise. The rest of the raiders held steady. Axes can take one step and swing, cleavers 2. Control engagement accordingly. A few tentative strikes. A clash of axes on primal plate. The slash of a billhook piercing savage scale. And Bowman set his sights. Not a lot of exposed flesh to target. He pops a shot off just to keep their heads down, then moves to a better position. That's one thing I do have to remind myself to do, is to stick with either past or present tense. I did notice in editing that I tend to kind of fluctuate between the two. But if I am approaching this as a dungeon master, it should be present tense. Narrating actions as they occur. Oh, shoot. I guess I can't attack over that. Fair enough. Rush rustled. A cleaver-wielding cad circling on the north. 3 other bulwarked brutes circling on the south. Cetrus dashed the helm off the head of the first to circle. Alright, we're gonna have to be more aggressive. Diego rushed into the rustling brush, pinning the primitive warrior on the north. Rev moving to support. Random pushed in on the south. And Verlin hopped from his perch, engaging an axe-wielding aggressor. That locks down both our shieldmen. Just need to hold those guys while we pick them apart. Nice, nice. Their line shifted. The Raiders meet the Chosen head on. Blows exchanged, but the Raiders at a decided advantage. The last of Val's hurled hatchets buries into a Chosen's bloodied face. The brute teeters, but does not yet topple. Drak follows up. A sweep of his cleaver. The Chosen headed off at the pass. Rook calmly impales another. Diego holding one on the north. Rev comes in from the side, piercing that primitive plate. Menaced, Tommy goes for his mace. Two swift strikes. A savage swordsman stunned. Yeah, I was briefly considering trying to preserve some armor, but, you know, these guys are probably too dangerous to really mess around with. We'll just tear them up. Arrow continues laying down fire, giving the primal plunderer pause. Also, I'm just realizing, I think I actually forgot to give him Killing Frenzy. I'll have to double check that when we're done. Not that it really would have made a difference here, but still. I think I got distracted midway through talking about it to set our line, which, to be fair, has worked out for us, so no harm done, I think. Tommy keeps the towering titan topped. Verlin's armor tatters neath random acts of violence. Cetrus crushes the southern skirmisher's ribs. And Random finishes the job. Before looking off to one side, did someone say something about his axe? A few precise strikes. The northernmost Norseman mourns no more. The last wrestled into submission. And the Raiders converge. The hapless hooligan soon finds himself under siege. Jabbed by javelins, quickly encircled. And thus ends this primal pilgrimage. Not with glory, but with death. Right, and I definitely did not spend Arrow's perk point. Okay, good fight. Let's grab our loot, get that perk banked, and push on. Not seeing any crowns, but we should get some decent coin for all this scrap. Rassel uttered, kicking at the heavily plated corpses at their feet. And Retcon nods, the oft-elusive company commander, having it all tossed into the cart. And we're good. All right, on we go. Venturing round the mountain range, the raiders soon spy a decrepit castle amidst the mists, a long-lost keep. Not one of the current targets they seek, but enough to arouse interest, perhaps? Since they do need undead locations for their current ambition. Though it's not guaranteed to be undead, it could be bandits or orcs, I think. Yeah, we'll want to keep this one flexible. Approaching the crumbling walls of the partially collapsed castle, the raiders were soon met by its shambling inhabitants. Sarmal quickly took point, scouring their decrepit ranks, spying something odd. There, Bowman said, beside him, pointing past the pallid line towards the squat, grotesque figures scampering about in their wake. Ah, Noxera. It is intriguing to see how these Wiederganger have developed such a synergistic, almost symbiotic relationship with the Noxera, despite their inherently unnatural nature. Who's to say what's even natural anymore, McLeod growled, warrior at his side. I'm just glad it ain't another necromancer. Those guys give me the heebies, and sometimes even the jeebies. Yeah, no necromancer, no geists. Not seeing any fallen heroes. Oh, spoke too soon. That is a very nice helmet. I know a certain book thief who would love to have that back in Raider rotation. And the raiders wade into the fray. Bit of a slog, but we should make short work of them. We'll try to keep things moving. Shame that's not a named champion. That at least would have made this a bit more interesting and given us an opportunity to snag a famed item. Maybe that's what we should make our 4th or 5th hire. Maybe we should just go ahead and bite the bullet and grab a bounty hunter. I've just never really had much luck with them in the past. I mean, it's been a while. Maybe they've changed the odds since then, but I remember hiring them way back when this DLC first dropped and just never really seeing much of a noticeable difference in actual named characters popping up. Which is a shame, because, you know, famed items aside, once your company really gets going, it's nice to get that occasional pushback from an actual dangerous foe. Outside of course, just wading into a crazy nonsense fight of like 40 plus enemies or something. Or feeding yourself to a kraken or whatever. So our maul cuts down the first. Another falls. Tommy's axe buried in its chest. Random dashes another to the dirt. McLeod turns them back on the south. Spear standing strong. Though some, by sheer happenstance, just happen to circle. And the chain-clad Colossus comes ever closer. The Noxera greedily rush forward, grasping for tender morsels, only to be denied by McLeod's cruel spear. That monster. What does Warrior have that these grayscale cuties don't? Rev fells another to the north, opening a path for the fallen hero. We'll need Diego freed up and ready to engage. McLeod continues sustaining the southern spear wall. Yeah, again, this would be a perfect time to have some handguns on tap. I've really got to bump that up on our to-do list. Sarmal carves a gap in the fetid front line, quickly filled by a gnashing Noxera. Drakiith having some trouble with that new Kopesh. Gotta get Val clear. Rook tears down a tattered target on the south. Starts migrating north. Diego disarms a Noxera. With Rassel swiftly crushing it right after. McLeod spears a Sepulchral Soldier. Fallen Hero coming up. If he jumps on Val, we'll net him. Yeah, okay. And denied their easy meal, the Noxera frantically flee. As Val swiftly nets the Forsaken Knight bearing down on him. And yet more carved up corpses stumble back upright. Which does seem to give the Corpse Eaters some of their confidence back. Fleeting though that may be. Keep the hero off balance. Drak sends ahead sailing on center. And assailed from every angle, the Dark Knight is sent reeling, giving Val a narrow avenue of escape. Which he promptly takes. Nice. Definitely a coin toss, though. The spear grants a pretty hefty hit bonus, so got a bit lucky on that one. Oh. Starting to see some hits slipping through the cracks here. Nothing serious just yet, but let's get this wrapped. A whirl of his flail, and random splatters one skull, then dashes another deadite to the dirt. The Noxera uncertainly circle, trying to sneak in to grab at corpses. Though one particularly bold one does rush the front line. Which it promptly pays for. An axe splitting its head. A follow-up toss fells the fallen hero. And the raiders swiftly set to the grim task of cleaning up. The rest of the foes they face pose little real threat. The real enemy is exhaustion. A race to the finish. With fatigue forever hovering right on their heels. Another felled by Rassel. Another decapitated by Drakiith. One cut down by Diego. Kills narrated so as to make future Retcon's job slightly easier when he has to actually annotate all these kills. Could let Warrior off the leash, but that would honestly just deprive us of easy XP. I did actually look it up because I was curious. Apparently the killer, the person landing the killing blow, gains 20% of that enemy's XP value, and then the rest is distributed over the rest of the warband, or surviving warband rather, in the case of casualties. So there is definitely a downside to relying too heavily on the doggos or or random passers-by. Since every kill that you're not landing yourself, like the one Rook just got, is a 20% XP tax. One by Val, one by Rassel. Diego cuts one down on the north. The Not-Zerer scamper for the hills. Ooh, nasty hit on Drak there. McLeod tears down the last on the south. And the Forsaken Hero rises once more. Hope that guy's helmet survives. Zarmal cuts down another on the north. Rev tears into the newly risen knight. With Val finishing the job. And like that, the last of the lumbering lifeless falls. An arrow through its head. A few tentative steps are taken after the last couple of fleeing fiends, but the raiders are content to let them go. It's over. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I mean, a little longer than I'd like. Not the most exciting fight, but some decent XP, fairly minimal risk. Oh, yes. Okay, we got treasure items, but yes, we also got the covered, decayed, closed flat top with mail. Which is actually relatively... I mean, it's not great, but it's decent. Also, it's just fun. No split in it, though. Like, when he was wearing it, you could actually see the Great Helm kind of peeking through. Now it just looks a lot more like the Book Thief's original mask. It is a shame he got disarmed so early on. Poor guy never even really had a chance. Though to be fair, the RNG was pretty cruel to him, both with the hit and with his initial stat line. His stars weren't exactly stellar. Shame though. Cultists do have some fun events from what I recall. Also some dangerous ones. But like having a cultist is the only way you can get the various special relics of Davkol, I think. I'm not sure I've ever actually gotten those. And there we go. There's our tribal camp to the west. A trader with an empty merchant cart crosses paths with the company. Though he has nothing to peddle, he does state that the roads are flowing with rumors of a savage calling himself king. He states that the barbarian is somewhere east of where you stand, around Norrenford. He regards the path of your journey with a nod. If you're keen on going that way, well, give them primitive bastards all the hell they deserve. Well, thanks, old man. That's really very nice. Out near Damwald now, so they are moving. Which, shoot, does mean we need to give up on the northwest camp. We'll knock out the tribal camp, then rat back around the mountains, start heading east. Run down our rustic ruler. This looks to be a pretty easy fight, so this will be good fodder for the newbies. Which is good, because some of them, like Mark, we need to get up to level 7 in particular, since the main reason we haven't headed south yet is because I need him at least level 7 before we hit that lumber village and grab some quality wood. Is it level 7? Someone else, I think, mentioned it was level 6. I'll have to double check that. The caravan event with Cetrus, that's level 7. That one I do know because I checked it when we first picked him up. But then I may have simply assumed that level 7 was like the point of apotheosis for all occupations. Anyway, back on the trail, the raiders soon stumbled across a tribal village, one they had heard rumors of, back Helvik Way. Their quarry, it seemed, was on the far side of the range. But, lesser though it may be, there was no reason to let this threat linger either. The barbarians boiled forth, rushing the raider line. The first met by a bolt from Alois's crossbow. A second shot from Mark, and the figure falls, caught in the crossfire as it were. But the rest rush forth, unabated, with the Reavers bringing up the rear, content to let their lessers take the brunt of the initial exchange. And take the brunt they do, as Annie promptly smashes one skull, and Rax cuts down another. Rook braces, receiving a Reaver's charge. Rev narcs another on the north. Verlin moves up, buying Rax some breathing room, with Random providing support. Trip moves up on the north, juking to one side, as an axe nearly takes off the Reaver's arm. Tommy severs an enemy's ear, and the remaining Reavers push back. A swing of a hammer met with a crack of bone, but Rev largely unharmed. Verlin taking a hit as well, but again, fairly unscathed. Rook's bone plate absorbs a blow as well, and the Raiders return the favor. Bowman setting his sights on the distant drummer. That primal, pulse-pounding rhythm, forever driving his brothers towards their own self-destruction. Nice. Almost 100 damage. Val cuts one down on the north. Annie crushes another skull. Tommy clears the back line. Rev severs an arm on the north. Another felled by random flailing. Ooh. Rev's actually taking a bit of a beating, but support is on the way. The primitive percussionist drumlines it right out of dodge. The one on Rev gets tripped up. Val swings wide. Rook puts a pike through a bone-clad brute's neck. Random crushes the man's skull, sparing him the indignity of bleeding out. A flurry of axes, and the last thrall falls. The drummer beats feet. A furious rhythm as he flees for the hills. And the raiders are apt to let him go. Honestly, what kind of damage is that guy going to do? And hey, look at that. Easy fight, but level ups aplenty. Exactly what we wanted. Oh my goodness, would you look at that? Monumental face guard. Of all the places to find a famed helmet. And one pretty much perfect for nimble bros. Okay, well, I was looking for a closed-faced or partial closed face for Rook, so I mean that's his. That's going straight to him. It'll put him 2 points over on the fatigue cap. But I think I can live with that. And then we also pulled another hide and bone. Man, so this really was worth our while. 4 level ups and a famed helmet. Fantastic. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Alright, we'll toss that to Rook momentarily. Let me just rearrange our line real quick. Get these level ups parceled out. I need to figure out who's getting that hide and bone armor as well. Probably one of the pole armors. So random hits 8, gets fearsome. I am iffy on overwhelm though. That would be his level 9, but he's flagging on initiative, so I mean, we'll take the melee. Yeah, what the heck. I mean, even if we don't go overwhelm, initiative still helps. It's useful for other stuff. And then, I mean, I think we've got to go with the 1 in MDef. The only other max roll was fatigue, and that's the one he needs the least. Really hope we can get him to at least 20 defense by soft cap. I mean, eventually he will lose the shield, but it might take a few legacy levels. Val. Val becomes our first thrower to hit 10. We'll take the range. We'll take the initiative. We want that up to at least 120. And we will take the RDef. Bump that over that 10-point threshold. As for perks, I believe we established we're going for the Berserk Kill Frenzy combo. So Kill Frenzy first at 10, and then Berserk and Recover at 11, since that will be when Student deactivates. Next up, Alois. He hits level 5, which is Weapon Mastery, right? So Crossbow and Handgun Mastery. We'll take the range, we'll take the initiative. Again, want to get that up to 120. And let's go RDef. Hit that 10-point target early. Flubbed everything else but fatigue anyway. And Rook hits level 9. He's following Rev's build, which means fearsome. Yes, that makes sense. Flub the melee, but we will take defense. As well as morale, of course, or resolve, rather. And let's go ahead and cap out range defense. It's either that or initiative. But I think we'll do range defense. Make him a less appealing target for range-based baddies. Since we don't want nickel and dime damage eating those bone plates early. I mean, I don't want to completely neglect initiative, but it's less important for our bannermen. And let's get you glowed up, my friend. Oh yeah, that's nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd prefer a closed-faced. I feel like that suits the anatomist better, but I will definitely take it. I just feel like, you know, the anatomists need to maintain a certain level of mystique. And back to Helvik. We'll dump our trash, then see if we can track down our king. While pulling inventory duty, Rassel Russell alerts you to a bit of dire news. A good sum of food has gone bad. Simple and to the point, you nod and thank him for telling you quickly. Boo! I don't care about the mushrooms, but I do care that that ate our event slot. We only get one of those like every 1d3 days. Hitting Helvik at night, not ideal. No notable rumors. We're not going to cool our heels here, so let's push Oberberg east towards Norrenford. That'll put us in the general vicinity of our barbarian king, and potentially let us do a quick restock before we engage. Though, sadly, we're pretty much out of time today. So that, I fear, we'll have to wait till next time. Which I think is fine. I mean, A, I'm not really sure how tough that fight's going to be, but B, even as easy as most of the fights today were, for one thing, it shows that we do pretty well outclass Chosen, so I'll be a lot more confident about facing them moving forward. But also, we got ourselves some really nice upgrades. Oh, plus we still have that potential additional relic somewhere northwest of Helvik. We'll have to keep that in mind. Which actually does work out, because once we do take out this barbarian king, we have to go back to Helvik anyway to actually turn the quest in. At which point, I suppose we can also see about those Alps if they're still hanging about. Yes, yeah, we can work with this. Alright, folks, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will take care of the off-screen bookkeeping, clear some space, restock on supplies, get our guys good and ready to go. And we will pick up here next time, as we face off with our primitive Primarch. And then, assuming that's not a disaster, maybe another quick relic hunt before we set our sights back south. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Erie V23, Revenant, Alois, Aero Bowman, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.